Before you open your Etsy shop, I need you to watch this video because the mistakes that kill most Etsy shops happen before their first listing even goes live on Etsy. After helping thousands of people start and scale their Etsy shops over the years, I've noticed something really interesting. Most people fail on Etsy before they even get started. Not because Etsy doesn't work, not because the market is too competitive, but because they get stuck in something called the research trap. They watch videos, they research niches, they take notes, they wait until everything feels perfect, and their shop still isn't open 3 weeks or even 3 months later. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 simple rules that will make starting your Etsy shop drastically easier. And if you follow these rules, hopefully you'll skip months of overthinking and finally get some momentum. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a challenge that most people won't actually do, but the ones who do will already be 90% ahead of the other people who say they want to start Etsy shops. So let's start with rule number 1. Rule number 1 is the start before you're ready rule. Most people think they need to have everything figured out before they start Etsy. The niche, the branding, 20 listings ready, the perfect designs. But that's not how Etsy works. Etsy is something you learn by doing. Open your shop, upload your first listing, then figure things out as you go. Because the moment your shop's live, you start learning things that you simply can't learn just by researching. You'll see how the Etsy listing editor works. You'll understand how to make best-selling titles and tags. You'll start noticing how buyers actually interact with your listings and which ones actually get clicks, favorites, and sales. And these lessons only happen once you're already in the game. You don't need to be perfect to start, you just need to start. And if you are completely new to my channel or completely new to print on demand in general, then it is a really great option to get into if you were planning on starting an Etsy store, but you weren't really sure what to sell. Print on demand is a process where you actually get to create the designs, but they don't get printed on a product until a customer orders it. This way you don't have to hold tons of inventory, make the products yourself, and ship it yourself. You can actually get started literally within a day or two just by setting up an account with a company called Printify. Printify is a print-on-demand company that has hundreds of different products for sale on their website that you can add your digital designs to, post for sale, and then when you get an order, Printify will be the one who actually prints and ships that item to your customers for you. And the best part is Printify is completely free, so I will put a link for Printify to sign up with them for a free account down in the description below if you haven't gotten started with them just yet. Which leads to the next question that a lot of beginners ask, which is, if I just start, what should I actually do first? That leads us right to rule number 2, which is the 1 listing per day system. A lot of Etsy advice tells you to have 10 or 20 designs ready to list in your store before you even open it. But that's often what causes a lot of people to stall, because there's a lot to learn in those first few designs and those first few listings. And if you make 20 listings and 20 designs before actually learning the process, that can feel really overwhelming because there's so much to learn. Instead, that's why I recommend something much simpler. For your first week on Etsy, your goal is just this: upload 1 listing per day. 7 days, 7 listings, that's it. The goal in this first 7 days isn't necessarily to get your first sale, but it's to learn all those little pieces that go into starting an Etsy store and getting listings posted for sale in your shop. And here's a simple formula that beginners can follow. Go to Etsy and find a listing that has a bestseller badge, or even better if you can find one that says it's sold X amount of times in the last 24 hours. That means that people are shopping for and purchasing that item today on Etsy. Then I want you to make a design for that same niche or product. You need to add value by either coming up with your own new saying for that item that's already selling, or you can use that same saying but come up with a completely different design style. Then look at the top 3 best-selling items for that product type and use the keywords they have in their title and their tags to come up with what titles and tags you should use for your listing. Yes, there's more to it as you go, but this part of the process is all about just taking action and learning as you go. Once you start researching designs, something usually happens. It suddenly feels like every idea already exists, which is where the next rule becomes incredibly helpful. Rule number 3, the law of creative combination. When beginners research on Etsy, they often get discouraged. They search their niche and they see hundreds of listings that are already for sale. And they feel like everything's already been done before and that they need to come up with something completely new, never seen before. But creativity rarely comes from creating something completely from scratch. It comes from combining ideas. This concept comes from the Laws of Creativity book by Joey Cofone. It's an amazing read, and I definitely would pick it up, especially if you're someone who's like, I'm not that creative, I don't really know how to design. I think this would be a really helpful one for you to read where you're at in your journey right now. Instead of inventing something completely from scratch, you combine 2 or 3 things that you've seen before in a new and unique way. Let's look at an example together. Let's say you saw this teeny time espresso martini best-selling sweatshirt. We don't want to copy the exact same thing like this, or make one teeny tiny change like the shape of the glass like this one. We want to find another bestseller on Etsy and find inspiration. I saw some other listings in the espresso martini niche that said the espresso martini social club. And then I saw this bestseller that was selling really well for Valentine's Day that was in this cool retro frame design style. And I thought, how could I combine the espresso martini niche, the social club niche, and that retro frame design style? And this is what I actually came up with right here. I'm designing for the exact same best-selling niche, but I'm coming at it from a completely different place. Some buyers might love the more minimalist design style of the first one, and other buyers are going to love my version instead. But it really can be that simple. You create something that feels new without starting from complete zero. Once you understand this rule, ideas start multiplying instead of running out. But even the best idea won't sell if you ignore the next rule. Rule number 4, the mock-up conversion rule. Here's something that surprises almost every new beginner. Your mock-up often can matter almost as much, if not more, than your design. And if you're not familiar with what a mock-up even is, it's a digital version of the product that you're selling that you put your design on to pretend that it's already made before it gets printed. You can buy mock-ups directly on Etsy, and these can be a great way to showcase your product, since with print on demand, our products don't actually get printed and shipped until the customer orders it. Because when someone scrolls Etsy, they don't read your title first. They see your image first. And that image in a sea of other products needs to catch their attention and get them to click your listing. Because on Etsy, people aren't coming to Etsy, finding your store and looking through all of your items. They're searching for something specific. They're looking through the search results with you next to your competition. And that's when they decide if they want to click your listing or not. So your main thumbnail image is really, really important to get right. A great design on a bad mock-up might actually really struggle, but a decent design with a great mock-up can perform really well. And here are some rules for those mock-ups. Your design should take up 40 to 50% of that thumbnail image. If your design is too far zoomed out, then the customer won't really read your design or really be able to see it from the thumbnail image, and they'll just keep scrolling. It needs to have that Etsy vibe. Etsy mock-ups are really different from Amazon. Amazon, you just have simple white backgrounds, a plain shirt, and then a giant colorful design. Whereas on Etsy, a lot of times, especially with clothing, it's more about the necklace, the hair, the accessories. The way that it's actually looking is more like a Pinterest board. It has to fit the Etsy aesthetic. So when you're choosing mock-ups, make sure you're looking at what types of main thumbnail images other best-selling products for your niche or your product are using, and get ones that have a similar vibe, or even just the exact same ones that other people are proven to use. They're all just for sale right on Etsy. And I would mostly avoid using AI mock-ups. For one, I think they can look really cheesy and fake. And for two, sometimes they don't really accurately represent the product that you're selling, especially with clothing. The colors can be really, really off. The closer your mock-up feels to a real photo, the more likely someone is going to be to click it. And trust is especially super important when your shop is completely brand new, which brings us to the next rule. Rule number 5 is the Etsy patience curve. because almost every entrepreneur goes through the same beginning emotional stages. At first, it's exciting. You open your shop, you create designs, you start learning how everything works. One of my favorite YouTubers for business, Alex Hormozi, calls this uninformed optimism. Everything feels full of potential, but then something happens. That early excitement wears off, days go by, maybe weeks, and no sales are coming in. You start wondering, did I choose the wrong niche? Is Etsy too oversaturated? And did I do something wrong? Hormozi calls this stage informed pessimism. You either start thinking that it's not actually possible to succeed, or you've learned enough to realize that it's harder than maybe you expected. At this moment is where a lot of people first mentally quit, stop listing, don't get any sales, and then eventually quit. If you're looking for more book recommendations, Seth Godin also talks about this in his book called The Dip. The dip is a stage where things stop feeling exciting and they start feeling difficult. But every worthwhile skill that you learn has a dip. Learning guitar has a dip, starting a business has a dip, and starting an Etsy shop definitely has a dip. Because it's normal to not get your first sale on Etsy until you've been open for 30 to 60 days and you have 50 to 100 items for sale in your shop. So don't feel like you're gonna build a full-time income on Etsy overnight. I want you to focus on something much simpler. I call this the 1% better rule. Your goal is to just get 1% better every day of your Etsy journey. Maybe today you learn about tags. Tomorrow, you improve your mockups and buy one new one that you think will convert better. Next week, you understand titles better. These small improvements compound quickly. There isn't just one Etsy secret that leads to Etsy success. It's all of these little pieces combined together. And the sellers who succeed are the ones who push through the dip. There's one question I constantly hear at this point. Is it possible for new shops to succeed still on Etsy in 2026? A lot of people will have you believe that Etsy's success was only possible a couple years ago, but that's not actually true. New shops on Etsy are succeeding every single month. And if you need to see the proof yourself, you can go right to Etsy and use a research tool like Everbee to see the proof for yourself. You can search listings in any product category and find shops that are brand new and are getting sales already. I typed in the word gift on Etsy. Now you could manually go through and click on listings and then click on their store to see how many sales they have and how old they are. But there are research tools that can turn hours of research into just minutes. And that's what I'll use right now, which is my favorite Etsy research tool, Everbee. And I'll find some examples for you. So here with the word gift, I'm gonna come over here to the left sidebar. Everbee is a Google Chrome extension, so it's built right into the Etsy browser already. And I'm gonna click this product analytics button. What this is gonna do is it's going to analyze the search results and let us filter to get really specific information. So I'm gonna click this button to search the entire Everbee database, which is 200 plus million listings, but we're gonna sort down and get a lot more specific than that to find new stores getting sales right now for proof. We'll come over to this filters button on the right, and you can filter this any way that your heart desires. You can also customize which information. If you click this customize button, you'll get different information of things you can filter by. But I like to sort by shop age. So I'm gonna say I wanna find stores that are a minimum of 8 months old. And then I'll actually sort by total shop sales. I also like to sort by only physical items. Here's a store that sells Christmas stockings that's 8 months old and has had 53,000 sales. Here's a store selling embroidered sweatshirts that's 8 months old that sold 7,600 items. Here's a store selling Christmas ornament that's 6 months old and has sold 3,700 items. Here's a store selling funny shirts that's 7 months old and has sold 4,600 items. And we could do this all day. I will put a link to sign up for Everbee down in the description when you're ready, because I do think it will save you so much time finding products that are selling right now that you can also list for and make sales in. And I've also seen this happen firsthand with my own students. One of my students, Shauna, now has her own YouTube channel, Simply Shauna, and has sold millions of products on Etsy, but she barely made anything her first 9 months selling on the platform. Another student of mine, Marina, did this really part-time, didn't really make any money her first 2 years, but then she finally took it really seriously in 2025 and was able to make over $30,000 profit in 1 year. And then there's other students that I have, like Sana, who sold over $100,000 in her first year on Etsy and made over $30K profit her first year. Some people take off quickly, other people take longer. But the point is that it's absolutely still possible. But perception really matters. If you believe that it's impossible, then you'll approach Etsy with pessimism and you'll end up quitting quickly. But if you have a strong belief that if it's possible for other people, then it's possible for me too, then you'll stick with it long enough to figure it out. And the truth is, you can't expect to make a full-time income from something that you're only giving a half-effort vibe. Like anything worthwhile, Etsy rewards consistency. So here's my challenge for you. If you've been thinking about starting an Etsy shop, open it today or sometime this week at the latest. Then upload your first listing and come back to this video and comment, "I did it." Because starting really can be the hardest part. And remember these 5 rules. Start before you're ready, the 1 listing per day system, the law of creative combination, the Mockup conversion rule, and the Etsy patience curve. If you follow those, starting Etsy becomes drastically simpler. And again, if you want help opening your shop step by step, I will link my free mini course down below, or you can comment the word ready and we'll send you the link. And if you want to see the 90-day blueprint for opening an Etsy shop, I'll link that video up next.